Arya, what happened? The panicked voice of my best friend called out. I turned to see Sophia rushing over to me with a terrified look on her face. She sat down next to me, and I watched as her eyes trailed over me, as if she was checking that I was okay. I have no idea what is wrong with my wolf. She was so angry that I nearly shifted. I had to get out of there. I sighed. What? Your wolf has never been like that, Sophia exclaimed. I know. That's why I'm so confused. She seems to be calm now, though, I replied. Sophia looked at me warily. Are you sure you want to go back inside? If your wolf is acting weird, maybe you should go back. I shook my head. No, I can't do that. I came here with Carter, and it looks bad for the pack if I leave. I feel fine now. Standing up, I smiled to prove my point. Sophia was still weary as we walked toward the palace. In all honesty, so was I, but I didn't want to worry anyone. As soon as we entered the palace, Carter rushed over to me and looked at me to see if I was hurt. Are you okay? You're not hurt? Carter looked worried. I smiled and shook my head. I'm fine, Carter, honestly. I just needed some fresh air. I feel a lot better now. Carter looked at me unconvinced, but nodded his head nevertheless. Sophia cleared her throat. I need to go to Luke. The king will be arriving soon. Carter, look after Arya. She walked away, and I turned to Carter, who was holding hands with Dia. I smirked. Wow, mates with my cousin, hey? She's my mate, you're Luna now, Carter said smugly. Before she's my Luna, she is my cousin, dumbass, I replied. That's true, I am, Dia responded, smiling at me. Hey, you're meant to be on my side, Carter protested. Sisters before misters. I stuck my tongue out. You two are arguing like children, Nia laughed. It's your sister. She started it. Carter rolled his eyes. And that is something that a child would say. Take responsibility for your actions. I raised my eyebrows. Whatever, Carter mumbled, causing the three of us to laugh. I stuck by Carter and my cousins. We didn't spend long talking as the crowds quieted down. I glanced up and saw a Lycan standing there waiting for silence. Above us was a balcony with 2 thrones. This was where the king and Savannah would be sitting. For some reason, that didn't sit well with me or my wolf. I didn't want to risk my wolf going crazy, so I quickly thought about something else. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for coming here today. On behalf of the king, I welcome you to the Lycan Ball. I hope this will be an enjoyable evening for you all. Very shortly, the king will be joining us, and he will be accompanied this evening by Savannah Willows. I watched as the man tried not to cringe after saying Savannah's name. My eyes found Sophia and Luke, who also looked super uncomfortable. My wolf suddenly stirred again, anger building. Oh no, not again. The king was coming. I couldn't afford to lose control. To distract myself, I found Hunter and Lana, who were holding hands, and I watched as Hunter kissed Lana on the cheek. Even though I hated seeing that, it was the only thing that distracted my wolf, so she calmed down. I can't wait to see the king, Dia gushed. The king has a certain aura about him that makes everyone want a glimpse of him, Carter said. A certain aura? Maybe my wolf desperately wanted to see the king then? No, that didn't add up. I was certain I was going to go crazy before this night was over. There was no time to dwell on that fact as everyone suddenly went quiet yet again. Guards came and stood on the sides. The king was coming. I clutched Nia's hand just as the announcer shouted, "Introducing His Royal Highness King Adonis Dimitri Gray, accompanied by Savannah Willows." I watched in awe as the king confidently walked past the announcer. Everyone bowed, and I followed suit, my eyes glancing up to see his dark brown hair that was styled to perfection. He nodded to the crowd and sat down on his throne, his cape pooling around him. My gaze snapped to Savannah, who was behind the king. She was about to sit down on the second throne, but was stopped by the king. I watched as Savannah's face dropped slightly as the king motioned for a guard. The guard escorted her to stand next to the king instead. My eyes found their way to the king's hair again, and I found myself thinking what it would be like to run my hands through it. My eyes widened, and I tore my gaze away. Geez, Arya, stop thinking dangerous thoughts. It won't end well. Instead, I looked at my shoes. That was a safe bet. Couldn't do anything to embarrass myself by looking at my shoes. "OMG, look what the king is doing," Nia whispered to me. "No, Arya, don't look," I told myself. "Don't do it, you'll regret it." Oh, damn it, I couldn't help myself. I glanced up to see the king sniffing the air. Well, that was not what I had expected to see. What in the world was he doing? Savannah was looking at him weirdly, but the king clearly didn't care. In a split second, his hazel eyes connected with mine, and I gasped. Holy shit, I had never seen eyes that beautiful before. I was lost in them. The king quickly stood up, causing me to snap out of my trance. Oh no, please tell me this wasn't happening. My wolf was jumping up and down, and I knew exactly what that meant, but that didn't mean I wanted it. As the king stood up, the crowd began to push past me as they went toward him. Clearly, they thought he was going to greet them. His hazel eyes never lost mine. His gaze was firmly locked onto me. The air felt heavy as we stared at each other. It felt like there was no one else but us in this moment. I temporarily forgot about all my troubles and my heartbreak as I found myself lost in his captivating hazel eyes. The connection was broken as more and more people moved in, causing me to stumble back and break the eye contact. Nia was also gone, so were Carter and Dia. I was by myself at the back. Only a few wolves remained here. Everyone wanted to see the king, everyone but me. I was breathing heavily and racked my brain. Should I run? This was the perfect time to do so. I wouldn't get another opportunity. My wolf protested, but I didn't listen. I ran outside. This time I ran past the bench and into the gardens. Shivers went down my spine as I heard a powerful roar. Shit, that was definitely the king. Groaning, I rushed toward a row of bushes and sat down, catching my breath. Those movies where the female characters run in heels have got it all wrong. You can't run in heels without tearing your feet off. It's just not possible. As I caught my breath, I heard the palace door fly open. My eyes widened and I swallowed the lump in my throat. I was in trouble, and I knew it, but my wolf was simply smug, like she had known this was going to happen. She probably liked to see me struggle. How annoying. "You can run, little mate, but I'll always find you," a deep voice said, sending my wolf into a frenzy. He said it, that word that I had been dreading. Mate. My mate was the king.